Hey, good morning. So I want to talk a little bit about building today. So I had a couple questions. So once I equip this building hammer, so down in the right hand corner here we have a couple of different, I'm sure this would change depending on what you have your key binding set to, but middle mouse button is going to open the building menu for us. So structure is the main part here. So foundations, you have wood, stone, you have concrete, and they have glass foundations now, but that's not something you're going to be able to do day one starting out. So let's say we place one, we hit the left mouse button to place it. You close this by hitting the middle mouse button again and hitting the middle mouse button again. Okay, we don't like where it's at. We're going to hold the left mouse button to delete it, demolish it. So we can also, we place it, and then we can hit the right mouse button to get rid of that. We can also, if you scroll wheel will move toggle the snap position. So we could build here, here, over here, without even moving or looking anywhere. Z and the mouse wheel will change the direction. So say we want that, we put that one out there, but you can see it's going the wrong way, so we just hit Z, hold Z and the middle mouse button to change the direction again. So we'll hit right mouse button to cancel that. So one of the cool things is, so you can, if you stand in both of these and these are red and you delete this one, it will delete all three of those. So you want to be careful when you're building where you're standing. Another cool thing we have is, so we want this here, but it's too high. So if we hold shift and use the mouse wheel, scroll the mouse wheel towards us, we can lower it, or away from us to raise it. So you only have so high that you can go. So that's the highest. And then if we toggle the snap and go lower, that's as low as we can place it right here. And this opens up some different things. So say you wanted to incorporate some stairs. Maybe you wanted to have, let's see if we can get it to, we'll have to move here. There we go. Say you wanted a little bit of a porch here. And then you wanted to have the rest of your base be up higher. And that might be good for something, say you wanted to build on the water over here. So I'm going to go ahead and delete these. So let's stand in these two and delete that one. Very nice. Stand in this one and delete that one. Get rid of this one. Alright, let's go to creative mode. Alright, so let's build our foundation. We'll lower it a little bit. We'll build a couple of them real quick. So one of the most important things in this game is going to be your structural support. Now you can build up to, I would say, 2 walls without having the beams. But say you get to the second floor and you don't build any of those beams, you're not going to be able to place any kind of structural support up there. And also, your ceilings are not going to snap to that wall. They're only going to snap to these ones, where these beams are placed. This is a 2x1. So the longest beam you have available to you is going to be a 4x1. So that means your rooms are going to be able to have no beams in the center here, up to 4 squares wide. Beyond that, you're going to have to place beams like this, doubled up, one on each corner of the foundation, to provide that secondary support if you were going to do the second floor area. So as far as stairs go, we have a couple of options. These ones snap to beams, like so. These U stairs snap to the foundations. and you can rotate them like you can the foundations as well. And we also have these smaller stairs. So say we do, let's put a ceiling here. And we'll have to kind of wing it because we don't have those beams over there. See, we cannot place those there. Okay, so if we put that one there, let's see. These ones are a little tricky. If you hit V and go into first person mode, then it is a little bit easier to place them. Let's see if maybe it wants the, maybe it does snap to the, no. Okay, so it's a lot easier if you have the floor to look at. These stairs do snap to the beams, but having a floor there, I guess, works a lot better. So this is one of the things that is cool. So you have Control, which will move things left to right, depending on which way you're looking. Alt will move them forward and back, depending which way you're looking. Obviously, I'm right in front of it, so it's going to move it forward and back. But if I was standing off to the side, Alt's going to move it left and right for me. But you can definitely move these stairs however you'd want them. So beyond that, we only have the foundation stairs. Let me get out of first person here. So these will snap to foundations. And I don't believe that they'll snap to... They will snap to beams also. So if you wanted to have them here... come on, I saw you. There we go. You can. But it's going to stick through the floor. So just be mindful that really just... Unless you're going to enclose this entire area and hide it, it's not going to be pretty unless you stick it in the ground. Okay, so besides foundations, walls, structural support, you have different materials, like I said. So you have wood, you have stone, which are going to be the cheapest materials to use. You have brick, so you're going to have access to cement, and you're going to need the small furnaces like this to make the brick. And then you also have the glass, and there is concrete. We don't have concrete walls yet, but we have the foundations, floors, columns, and all the beams. I'm really hoping that they're going to put concrete walls into the game. So we have wooden windows, we have glass windows, and then we have wood door and iron gate. So this is what the brick looks like. It's pretty fancy. And this, the door frame here is what the iron is. So the iron gate looks really nice with that, I think. And then if you do, obviously if you do wood with the wood, I feel like that complements pretty well. The glass windows are kind of a newer addition. So that's what the full panes of glass look like. Also have these glass windows, which you can add glass windows into. Which I kind of like the look of. It's kind of neat. And as far as half walls go, so say you wanted to put one here, but the stairs are kind of in the way, so it's kind of hard to target. One of the things you can do to help yourself is if you can snap it to this beam, like here. We wouldn't want to snap it to that beam and do mouse wheel to scroll around to toggle it. We would want to snap it to the closest beam to where we want to place it. And then it will pop right in, and it won't be weird. If you do snap it to the wrong beam, there's a chance that you will have a gap on one of the sides, and that's not going to look very nice at all. Let's move on to what I think is one of the most difficult parts of, honestly, any building. And that's going to be roofing. So let's do the largest we can here without having beams in the middle. We'll do a 4x4. Oh, see, now I've placed this one incorrectly. Because these are all finished, I can go ahead and delete it and stand on top of it. But if they were the blueprints, it would have deleted every single other foundation piece that I had placed. Okay, that's 3. Oh, and that is doing a little dance for us. Wow. Let's go. Alright, nice. So, for beams for this, I just recommend doing all of them on the outside. So that's one on every outer corner of the foundation pieces. It's just going to be so much easier for us if we wanted to do the roof, or if we wanted to do a second floor. We have all of the required, like, maximum structural support that we need, so there wouldn't be any limitations for what we could do on the next floor. So we're going to put our 4x4s up before we put our walls. So if you want it just one high, you can absolutely leave it here, but the storage racks in this game are 1 1/3 high. So you could do 2 boxes like that and leave it as is, or you can place that other box up there, which means we have to go 1 1/3 high. So you don't necessarily need these 4x4 beams here. I like to place them though, just for, like I said, the extra structural support. And if you're having issues targeting something, go to the outside or go to first person, and that will make it significantly easier to target things, especially once we start getting into the roofing portion. So we'll just get the rest of these 1/3 beams placed. Same place as all the other ones. Do them all the way around. And there's a lot of different ways that you could do a roof in this game. Just like how we have different materials for the walls and stairs and doors and all of those things. Same is true for the roof pieces. So you could always do just wooden floors or stone floors. These stone floors are actually really beautiful. Let me show you. So it looks like that top and bottom. And oh my goodness, they're just the best stone flooring in any game I've ever seen. They're perfect. But say we wanted to do a thatch roof. So you have a couple different corner pieces. This one is a very tall corner piece. You don't necessarily have to do corners either. We could do the traditional, like, American house style roof here. So we'll put those two there and mirror that on the other side. There we go. Let me get us some daylight. Oh yeah, that's the best I can do. Sorry. So that's going to give us these pieces here. And you're going to want to target that top beam there. And you can use the mouse wheel to scroll to get those to place where you want. Now sometimes if you're looking at the piece adjacent to it, if you're targeting that, that will pop up there for you. So we've got the thatch on that side. So those take plant fiber that you would get from these smaller trees, and then planks that you would have to use logs to make in the crafting bench. And that's what those look like. It's pretty basic, but if you wanted to do like a cabana or a nice little farmhouse, it's nice. Both of these look pretty much identical on the inside. So these are the stone roofs. They don't actually take any stone, except for the stone that you need to make the brick. They look more like, it looks most like shingles. And they do look pretty similar on the inside. So we'll get those placed. Let's try looking at that one. There we go. That helps. Go a little bit. Let's go first person. We're having some issues placing this one. Okay, let's try. There we go. So the outside of these, yeah, it looks like shingles for the most part. The edges are kind of raw, so you might want to do some of the eaves. That's the 20. We want the 45 degree. Actually, that still gives it the same raw edge, huh? Wow, I didn't really notice that before. Funny the things that you see. even after playing for a couple 100 hours. Okay, so for the next bit, we could do, we don't have stone beams. Okay, so we're gonna want to do some more structural support here. I'm having a hard time targeting that one, so I'm gonna go first person. Okay, and we're gonna want some more support up there. Oh, I forgot those. And then just to keep it consistent, I am gonna add, let me go first person, there we go. So I'm targeting that beam there a little bit off center. I'm gonna put those up there just so everything else is consistent. And we'll grab those same roof pieces on each side here. So that one, back up, oops, that one, and that one. See, I'm targeting the piece next to it. And now it doesn't want to, so I'm going to use the scroll wheel. There we go. Okay, and we'll put these on the other side. Say you have a piece that's really tough. Like that one just won't go. I can use the control button to kind of fudge it over. So I'm just sliding it over to the left until it turns green. So that's one way to kind of get around it. Yeah, see how this is a nice big cathedral ceiling place. So placing the walls, say you have furniture or you wanted to do brick or stone or something that you didn't quite afford and you've already got stuff placed, your best bet is just going to be going to the outside, targeting the foundation for the walls, and then for this upper piece here, this 1/3 piece, you're going to want to look directly at the wall below it. See how it just snaps right to it when I look at this wall? And now I don't have to worry about that part anymore. Behind those storage racks, it is covered. Let's see what other building things we have. Oh, if you're curious about what the glass looks like, I could show you. It is kind of strange. It looks more like concrete. Oops, sorry. It's like steel with glass pieces on it. It's kind of interesting. And we have the glass foundations. That's what those look like. They're pretty cool. This is basically the same as what the ceilings look like. It's exactly the same as what the, well, they're not ceilings, they're metal glass floors. But if you chose to, say you wanted to put those as your second floor up here, that's what they look like. Basically the same as the foundation pieces, but those are very expensive. Each piece of glass, you need 10 glass here. You're going to need 4 limestone and some clay, I think 2 clay and 1 stone. So you would need 40 limestone for this one piece. And in case you don't know, limestone can be found in the various ore fields. There's one over here, there's one over here. There is typically one around each trader. There's not one around this merchant here in E4. There's not one around this merchant in F3. But there's a good ore field up here in B5, around this trader in D6. There's not an ore field around this trader in E5, unfortunately. But E1, D1, there's ore fields there. But you're going to have to gather all of that yourself. So now for these pieces where we have these triangles, they do have, depending on what shape you end up with, these triangles, like just the basic triangle shape right here, those ones are a little bit harder to place. These more acute triangles for when you're doing the 20-degree angles versus the 45-degree angles, those ones are easy to place. These ones are definitely easy to place. I'm typically go by having it snap to that beam and then rotating it over, but sometimes it will very kindly just snap, and it's almost like you have to look kind of in the center of it, and it's the same piece for both sides here. Okay, see, now that one doesn't want to go for me. Let's rotate it. No problem. this one would be very difficult. Say we couldn't get this one to place at all. One of the things that we could do is build some scaffolding. Oh, what glorious weather we have today. There we go. Oh, sorry, that was a good storm. Okay, we have scaffolding. This takes sticks and planks, and while it is high, you cannot typically hurt yourself by falling off, thankfully. Okay, so I'm going to go over here, and we'll get our triangle piece. Okay, see, now we can reach it without even having to rotate it. Okay, so these ones up here, you're going to want to look at the either one of the outer beams or the inner beams to get it to snap. Yeah, that looks pretty good. One of the things that's great about this scaffolding is you do get your materials back when you demolish it. So you could then place it wherever you might need it. So say you needed it to place all of these roof pieces, you could do that. So you can see the line up there. That's from placing that piece of structural support. And that doesn't bother me any at all. But if that bothers you, you could definitely get rid of those pieces. Those should still all connect. And normally I would put the pieces up there too, just to keep it consistent. I really like the way that that looks. But besides all the structural support and moving of pieces, when you get into, let me place a wall to show you. When you get into building, you know, decorating your base, you're going to find that you're going to have issues like this where your bed, like if you want to make the big bed, or even just this one, it starts off kind of off center. So you're going to use Alt to move it over to the right, and then Control to move it towards you until it turns green. And that's going to be the way that you're going to get things to place nicely. A lot of these pieces will automatically snap to the middle of the foundation. So this crafting bench, for example, which is going to be your first most important piece of equipment in the game that you can make and build stuff with, it snaps to each side. So I'm just using the scroll wheel, and it placed it right in the center of that foundation for us. It doesn't look center because this side is wider, but it's in the center. So that makes it nicer. The other thing that might cause you a little bit of difficulty is probably going to be these cultivation or hydroponics boxes. They do want to snap on all 4 sections like that, but I don't know why anyone would want to place them like this. I will show you. So, greenhouse. Right? Let's find a door we can walk into. Okay, so look at this. Nice big area. Say you built this on foundations. They would want to snap. If you can build in a place where you can just place them, you could very much just tuck them right next to each other, like so. All in one line, which would be more aesthetic, I think. But that really helps for those placement. If you don't build a building like this where you're going to put things inside of it, then the Alt Shift Control movements are going to be a huge help to you. And thankfully, you don't have to remember them. They're always on the screen down there. But say you don't want something to just automatically snap. If you hit G, we can turn this and move it wherever we want. We can have it crooked in the middle of the room over here if we want. We want to put it right in this corner like that. Boom, done. No problem. G will do that for you. Just hit G and then all of the other settings will apply. And it kind of looks nice like that too. Alright, let me see if we have any other... Oh, I have one other thing I want to warn you about. This livestock farm... I'm stuck. Is, in my opinion, the worst. The worst. It's just the worst. That's all I can say. It's very difficult to get to place unless you're going to put it, unless you know that that spot is like the flattest. Look, I wanted to go inside the building. Pain in the butt. There we go. Unless you know that you are in a flat spot, it will not place for you. I swear you're going to have to put it on foundations. And this one is pretty big. I think it requires a 6x5. So 6x5 foundations in order to place it with everything sitting on top all nice and neat and nothing hanging over. So, yeah. The building is actually pretty solid in this game. Yeah, if you don't have your building hammer equipped and you hit the middle mouse button, it will punch. Yeah, but the building's actually pretty solid in this game. And I would say, besides the flat land issues that you may come across, the only other thing I would be concerned about is if you're going to play to go to the bandit camps. Now, there are some of these little dots. There's one here in C5. There is one down here in H1. There is, let's see. So there's a dot somewhere down here in G6. There's another one, oh, right here in B2. I don't know if you can see it, but there are just little dots here and there. These do indicate that there is a bandit camp. So there's one right here on the border of A7 and B7. Some other dots might look like it might be a bandit camp, but you'll know. If you're driving by or walking by and you're getting shot at, that's a bandit camp. So if you go to bandit camps, you can rescue NPCs, and to bring NPCs back to your base, you're going to have to do all of these NPC buildings. Let's see if we can get... I'm going to have to move this away from me. It wants to be right in my face. Let's see. Oh. Come on, you could do it. Alright, let's shift it over. Not shift it, let's alt it over. Nope, he doesn't want to go there for me. Let's try over here. Should go here, no problem. There we go. And we'll rotate it so we have the front. We're going to have a little bit of foliage in there, but I think that's fine. So you're going to need this building. This is the control center. This is where your NPC status will show. So you're going to need power. You're going to need water. You're going to want to have beds for them. And you're going to want to have this close enough to your base because, unfortunately, while... I don't know why I wanted to reload that. You do have a range. Now you can't exit out of this and go see what that range is, but it's pretty small, so you're going to want to make sure that wherever your battery table is or any of your other power tech, like your solar panel or your wind turbines, you're going to want to make sure that this building and all of the other important buildings, so control center, recreation room, medical room, canteen, house, those are all buildings that are going to affect productivity, and you're going to need houses for the NPCs to live in. You have to have at least one house placed, otherwise the NPCs, once rescued, will not come back to your camp, your base. So you're going to need one of those, and you are going to want it semi-adjacent to the control center at least. And then for production, you have log cabin, quarry, that livestock farm I was talking about before, and then the botanical garden, which is one of the most beautiful buildings I've ever seen. It's so beautiful. So the NPCs will grow all sorts of fruits and vegetables back here. It's pretty cool. I always want to walk through here because of how clear it is, but it's a window. yeah, I think that pretty well covers the basics of building. If you have any questions, or if you want an explanation on anything, or if you want to see what the 20-degree angled roof looks like, or if you have a problem, the NOS community is awesome. I mean, comment on anyone playing No One Survives video and ask the question. Go to the Discord. nosintel.com is the interactive map, which it shows what loot is here in this port. It shows if there's a special zombie in this big city and where they're at, or where they can spawn in. It's going to show you car spawns. So that's run by Robo. So you can also go to his Discord. There's an official NOS Intel Discord as well, and you can ask questions in there. He's not a developer to the game or anything. He's just an awesome part of the community as far as I know. But yeah, if you were curious about some of the ins and outs of building, I'm not an expert by any means. I just want to say that, but I have 300 hours in this game at least, and I'm working on 400. So I do know enough to help get you started. But yeah, absolutely anything you have a question about, don't be afraid to ask. The community is awesome. So I'm going to leave this one here. I will see you in the next one. Okay, bye.